Hey, we're back again. Today, of course, we're talking about the research process. And today we're just going to talk about presentation of your data. We're going to chit chat about ways in which you can present the data and what you can do to enhance your data presentation. Now, as you collect your data, you process the information, and at the point at which you're presenting your data, most persons would want to present it as clearly and as simply as possible. There are different ways in which you can present your data. The data can be presented in tables. A table is really a box. Along the length of the page, you have rows, and at the top of the page, coming down, you have columns. So you have one variable listed on one side, maybe representing the rows, and one variable listed at the top, which is representing the columns. So that's one way to present your data in a table. If you choose not to present your data in a table, variables such as gender, age groups, or other variables with a limited number of options, answer options, you may actually present that variable in the form of a pie chart. Now, a pie chart is literally a circle which is cut up into slices, and each slice represents a response and an answer option, and the size of the slice would represent the number of responses or the proportion of responses that came in for that particular response category. And so you may present your data in a pie chart. Pie chart is, I would say, is nice and graphical, because once you look at the pie, you are able to determine the relative comparable situations or comparisons. For example, if a slice is 2 times the size of a slice beside it, it is okay to assume that twice the number of persons approximately selected that particular response. If you're not using a pie chart, you may use a line graph. Now, the graph is simply a presentation of, say, 2 variables, the combination of 2 variables. And on your graph, you will have a vertical axis coming from top to bottom, and a horizontal axis which goes from left to right. Many people are not sure which one is which, but if you want to be sure, here's an easy way to remember. If you think of the horizon, which is that imaginary line between the sky and the sea, that line runs across from left to right. If you think of the horizon, then you will always remember the horizontal axis. And so the horizontal axis is the base axis running from left to right. The vertical axis goes from top to bottom. Both intersect at a point, and at that point, the value at that point is 0. Now, the vertical axis is sometimes called the y-axis. And again, if you can't remember which is the y-axis and which is the x-axis, you only need to remember one. The y-axis, if you think of the letter y, it's composed of a V, and below that V, there's a line which is running from top to bottom, the base of the V to the other end. So if you think of that, then you remember the y-axis is always the one running from top to bottom. Once you've done that, you're required to plot points. So you identify the value on the x-axis that matches the value on the y-axis. You find each point on each axis and draw the line up from the x-axis you draw, and then you draw it across from the y-axis. Wherever it intersects, that's the point of intersection between x and y. And you continue to plot those intersecting points. Once you plot them, you are able to start at the 0 point and use a line to connect the dots, literally connecting each point, and at the end of it you have a line graph. If you don't use any of those, you are allowed to use a bar chart, and a bar chart is literally a graph where you identify the intersecting points for the x and the y values, but you actually draw the line across from the y-axis and then down to the x-axis, and you keep doing that for each, and what you get is boxes which stand side by side. You may have a bar chart which is also laid out horizontally, so instead of the boxes standing vertically, these boxes will actually go from left to right. They will literally lie, and so that is another bar chart, but in this case that chart is actually in the horizontal position. Once you have the bar chart and you use your pencil to, at the top of each bar, literally draw a curve, that bar chart becomes a histogram. The choice of how you present the data is always yours. Alternatively, there are tables which the SPSS will present to you, which you are able to copy directly from SPSS or import from SPSS into Word. For example, if you do a statistical test, SPSS presents the test results in a particular format, and once you have that table, you are able to literally copy that table and paste it into your Word document with the results, and of course next to that table or under that table you would basically be interpreting your data and presenting that in your report. Hopefully this video has helped. I'm hoping that you're one step closer to completing your presentation of your data, and that after watching this video it will be a little easier for you to decide which way you will present your data, and how you will be able to basically transfer this information from the results into an appropriate form which your readers will appreciate. As usual, don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and with your fellow students. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to this channel.